So here we are. So I think the most important thing is to find your anchor. Find some way to anchor your mind so that you have stability. So the mind is like a camera. If you have a camcorder on the back of a horse and you're riding at full gallop, it can be a perfect camcorder. So it's taking fantastic, colourful, noisy shots of the merthshire as you're galloping over Merthshire. Yeah? And you could play it back afterwards and it would just be a crazy cacophony of sound and colour. But if you put the same camcorder on a motorised tripod, it would be like brilliant quality and sound. Everything would be very approachable. So our mind, normally we're moving so fast, we don't see what's really happening. And the problem with emotions is that they can take us over. Before we know it, we're in the middle of a bout of anger or frustration, jealousy, greed, whatever. So if we learn to slow down, we can see the emotions, and instead of them ruling us, we can start to turn it around and start to be able to see the emotions without being. I think the key phrase here, which I'd love you all to remember, is to identify the emotions, but don't identify with them too much. Like if I say I am angry, that makes it really very solid, very concrete. But if I identify the anger and I can say I am feeling this anger, it's very different from saying I am angry. So you're giving yourself some space between you and whatever emotion that is running through your mind. So the key thing is who we are. Basically, it's like our true nature is like we're like gold. And it's like our emotions can make us forget who we really are. So if we can master. So in Tibetan therapy, they talk about, say, two families of emotions. There's harmful emotions and helpful emotions. This might be a little bit new to you, but let's try and familiarise ourselves with this. Like anger, jealousy, shame, ignorance. These are harmful emotions that they disconnect us. And there are helpful feelings like love, compassion, courage, and joy. Yeah? So I'm making a distinction between feelings and emotions, like who we really are, the golden nature of who we really are on this beautiful sunny day. Who we really are is like, or at least there is the potential to be who we really are, which is a being of love and compassion and courage and joy and limitless calm. Wouldn't that be lovely, eh? So that's but it doesn't have to be the bitter lemon of the golden ideal. We don't have to feel that this is so far away. In meditation, if we can find our anchor, we can touch base, we can come home to our true nature of courage and love and compassion and joy and calm. But those are the helpful feelings that connect us and that are true to the nature of everything being interconnected. But there are the harmful emotions, which we could say is like the terrain of the ego, or for want of a better word. And like anger and jealousy, harmful emotions that disconnect us. Like if you're angry with somebody, they don't talk to you again, do they? If you're jealous of somebody, it's a lose-lose situation because you're upset and they're kind of going through jealousy. So there's disconnecting emotions and there's helpful feelings. So our mind is like a garden. Our mind is like a garden. Our mind is like a garden. So if we look after the seeds of love and compassion, they will grow. But if we just look after the anger and the jealousy, like a sort of a plot of EastEnders, is it? Do you have this soap of EastEnders? I was teaching in Wigan once, you know, where they have the famous pier, and there was a woman in the front of the audience, and I in my lovely, maybe idealistic phase, so I'm saying, what a wonderful life without anger and jealousy and fear. And this woman at the front said, "That's terrifying." There wouldn't be anything left. So it's like our life can be like an EastEnders plot, you know, full of family and jealousy and anger. But these are harmful for our health. But if we nourish them, we're in the garden of our mind. It's like we're looking after the weeds and choking the flowers. So emotional intelligence is about how to identify what is weed and what is flower, and to be able to cultivate the flowers and the vegetables or whatever in the garden of our mind. Energy follows focus. Neurons that fire together wire together. So it's up to us, it's our responsibility. Responsibility, like a hyphen. So we're cultivating the ability, the skill, to respond to everything that's happening inside and outside. So meditation is like cultivating a skill to be able to be friends with everything. Unconditional, limitless friendliness is what it's all about. So if you're feeling angry, you should recognize the anger and smile at the anger, maybe asking, what are you trying to tell me? And you could remember, like, animosity is never cured by animosity. It's only overcome with love to break the cycle. So having that emotional intelligence could save you from like a violent row with your partner or your kids or something. Do you see what I mean? So the emotional intelligence is the skill to be able to be with your feelings of kindness and calm rather than being overwhelmed and overcome by the angers and the jealousies and the frustrations of life. And to live in the present moment with the emotions rather than banishing some emotions. Yeah, banishing some emotions, feeling favoritism. I like this emotion and I don't like that one. So over the day, maybe we'll see it's quite complicated, although in one way it's very simple. That what we're up against is maybe lots of habits of maybe going in the wrong direction with the emotions. And so it's like our intellect or our ego is a beautiful servant, but a terrible master. Intellect is the power tool of our separateness, whereas the intuitive, compassionate heart is the doorway to our unity. Yeah? So helpful feelings connect us to compassionate heart. I like that phrase. And so the whole journey is from the head to the heart. the longest journey we'll ever make is from just being an intellectually separate being, judgmental, frightened, upset easily, always wanting things to be perfect. Yeah? It's got with this insane, manic, trying to create a perfect environment and getting very frustrated when things are very imperfect. So nothing is perfect and everything is fine. Everything is perfect. Or, nothing, everything is imperfect, but we can be okay with that. That's a better way of putting it. So the journey is from the head to the heart, so that the intellect separates and the heart unites. But like I said, this isn't about theory, this is about practice. So let's begin with a little meditation practice. And so we could adopt a good position. And the ideal thing is to, if you can, is to have a straight back, a straight spine. Now, the way emotions work, it's almost like we have three brains. We have the reptilian brain, the neo-mammalian brain, and the human mind. If our spine is straight, it helps us emotionally self-regulate, because the prefrontal cortex, where there is a lot of energy to be able to balance our whole chakra system, our whole mind-body relationship. If your spine is there, it's like you're in a line, the chin slightly tucked into the chest. And so this has dignity. This is emotional intelligence, because it's a pause, like the sacred pause, where we can come home. So the breath is like the bridge between our mind and our body. The breath is like a bridge between our mind and our body. So we can rest and pause. So smiling is very much very useful part of this, because we hold a lot of subconscious tension in our jaw, subconscious angst in our jaw. That's why we did the little massage of the jaw just now. So smiling, adopt a little emotional engineering, maybe lift your, I'm not going to go round and check people, I'm lifting the edge of your lips up, but smiling, relax your jaw, relax this subconscious holding on too much. So we can let go, drop your shoulders if they're by your ears, and you could have your hands resting in your lap or resting on your knees, but it's very good not to have your fingers interlocked, so that your hand is resting not like this, because again this kind of blocks the flow of meridian energy in your fingers. So just have one hand resting in the other, or on your knees, however is comfortable. But the spine, the little tilt in the back of the neck, the smile, and you could have your eyes open, just loosely focused on in front of you, or you could have your eyes closed. And so the meditation is like finding our anchor. So just use your breath as an anchor. If you can't use your breath, you could even use the bottom of these lights on the wall. Just maybe, well, actually the lights. Just something external to focus on. So it's like an anchor. So if you drift off, that you'll come back to a place of awareness, simple awareness. So the whole thing is we don't have to do anything in this meditation, but just be with the posture and be with the breath. And whatever arises, we could experiment with saying yes. Yes. So if you get a little tingling in your ankle, yes. If you're having flashbacks to 5 years ago, yes, and let it go, and feel safe, gratitude, connection with your anchor of the bridge between your mind and your body, which is the breath. So just breathe. And the hint is breathing in to an area, if you can, below the waist. Yeah, so breathing in, relax your body. Breathing out, let go of any tension. And breathing in, below the waist, or if that's too difficult, you could breathe into your heart area, but just breathe a little bit deeper than you would normal. Breathing in, relaxing, breathing out, letting go of any tension. And outside noises, you could say yes and let them go and come back to the breath. The simple discipline of energy follows focus, focusing on the breath. The breath is neutral, a safe harbour in a storm. And just to, as best we can, be a good enough meditator. Don't set yourself impossible goals or targets, like being a good enough mother, be a good enough meditator. If the mind wanders, that's what minds do. But we have this gratitude for the breath as like an anchor, so that we don't drift onto the rocks of distractions, but can maintain authentic presence via the highway of the breath. So well done. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you enjoy it, you'll do it again and again. So joy is one of the four sublime abodes of the mind. But for now, I will soon hand you over to my colleague here, Rachel, and so we'll do a little bit of gentle yoga together. The key thing is simplicity. Yeah, simplicity. And enjoyment. If you do it, if you enjoy it, you'll do it more and more. And the sacred pause. We can all find our anchor, find a safe space. And if at home the breath is difficult, you could have a little stone from the beach or a night light. You could focus on the flame. It doesn't have to be the breath, especially if you have something like asthma or something like that. But the key thing is to find your anchor, to find like your own way of emotional self-regulation, of just being able to stop being swept along by the waves of emotionality and be able to pause and snap out of it if you're in in the middle of a chain reaction. Stop in the name of love before you break your heart. Think it whoa over, especially if you've got a dog. Anyway, over to my esteemed colleague here, and we'll do a little bit of relaxing, gentle, and okay, over to you.